a long time, I didn't think it was something I could do. And just listening to other people, it just slowly came about. I was like, maybe I can do this.
This is the Adventure Sports Podcast, where we talk to athletes, adventurers, and business owners from around the world of adventure sports. Whether you're climbing Mount Everest, starting a bike shop, or getting up off your couch to take your kids hiking for the first time, we want you to have the motivation and inspiration you need to chase that next adventure. The Adventure Sports Podcast is brought to you by Camp Crate, the leaders in fully planned self-guided backpacking adventures, as well as backpacking gear rental. You can check them out at campcrate.net. Hey everybody, hope you had a good weekend. We have a cool episode today. It's a little different. Usually we talk to people after their adventure, kind of after they've already had the experience, they've climbed the mountain or crossed the continent or whatever all the crazy people we have on the show is doing. But today we're taking a different approach. We're talking to somebody who doesn't have a ton of experience and who is getting ready to do their adventure. So this is like pre-Adventure Sports Podcast interviewee, someone who has not done that thing yet, and they're getting ready to very soon. So this was recorded, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. It's Jeremiah Fuoss, and he is getting ready to do the Appalachian Trail, starting like in a week or two. And first-time adventurer. He's done some hikes and stuff, but he admits that this is his first big adventure, something he didn't think he could do. Listener of the show, and through all the stories and through a little window of opportunity, he said, "I'm gonna tackle this and hike the entirety of the Appalachian Trail." In the interview, I give a lot of advice because I've done some trips, but I didn't mean to get so advice driven towards Jeremiah, but I did. All of it's my opinion, of course. So if you don't agree, that's totally fine. It's your call. This is all just based on my experience. But I did mention one part where I was like, I don't recommend training. And what I meant by that is, you stay in relatively good shape throughout the year if you, play sports or if you like to run or something, bike or something. And then all my trips were long bike trips, and I wouldn't necessarily train for them because I didn't have the time being a student and working full time. So I just try to get in shape when I can, and then I just use the first week or two of the trip to kind of get my body in shape and kind of get used to the mileage or to the lifestyle. And so that's kind of what I meant by that. I didn't mean not training for the trip if you're going after something big, especially if you're going after something technical and with a lot of skill involved and maybe a fastest known time. Absolutely train. You're going to have to train a lot for something like that for sure. But, I was just trying to be encouraging, and Jeremiah has his probably the same questions and same concerns that you would if you're planning a trip. So I hope a lot of you out there can relate. If you have any advice for him or any words of wisdom, you can reach out to him on Facebook. It'll be awesome to follow along. He's starting the trip soon, and I hope we can interview him post-trip to see what it's like to talk to somebody before and after such a life-changing experience. So today's episode is brought to you by Peak Refuel, best backpacking food in the world. Go to peakrefuel.com. It's freeze-dried and not dehydrated, so that it cooks faster, uses less water. Really good meals. peakrefuel.com, ASP20, 20% off. Hemp Daddy's CBD oil and transdermal cream help with joint pain. It can help with stress. CBD is huge right now, and I'm doing it myself, and it's been helping my knees, the arthritis in my knees, a lot. The show is also brought to us by Powder7 Ski Shop in Golden, Colorado. They do online used demo skis. They'll ship it right to your house. You get great deals, new and used equipment, so check them out. All right, y'all. Oh, and Jeremiah, good luck on your trip, man. This community and our listeners are going to be rooting for you. We're going to be encouraging you along the way, and keep us updated. And it's so cool to know that this show had a small part in your decision to get out there and get on the trail. And man, I hope you encourage 1,000 more people to do the same. All right, here's the episode. Oh, so how's it going?
Going pretty good. Working on cleaning my truck out right now. So I drive truck did drive truck for a living, and I was just working on cleaning it out so I get it sold when I get back.
Oh man, what kind of truck?
Big truck.
Big rig.
Yep.
Cool, man. My grandfather and stepdad did that for years and years and years.
It is a very interesting job.
How long you been doing it?
8 years, just short of. I started in April of 2010. Yeah, it's actually how I discovered that I like it out west.
What do you mean by that? Where'd you end up going?
Well, I got one summer about 6 years ago, I got a pretty steady run going from Louisville, Kentucky to Phoenix. Well, there's a truck stop in Flagstaff. And I kind of fell in love with Flagstaff that year. The Arizona Trail runs right behind the truck stop, so that made it kind of convenient to hop out of the truck and go for a hike.
Oh, man. So do you have that kind of time when you're driving a truck?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
My friends tease me about being a tourist with an 18-wheeler, so.
You know, I've considered it a lot of times. I'm thinking, man, I could get paid to drive a rig across it. I love road trips, but I think it's just, navigating that thing through towns and cities is what stresses me out.
You get used to it. And it's not as bad as what you would think. It can get a little interesting at times, but it's not too bad. Have you ever been to Lake Placid, New York?
I actually have never been there. No.
Okay. Well, that's a buddy of mine told me to. He said you need to go that way, but when you go take the bypass around Lake Placid and don't go through the town. Well, I missed the bypass and took it right downtown. And
oh gosh.
Yeah, but I made it. I mean, it wasn't bad.
Golly, that is too funny.
I had to move a few cars out of my way, but
So where are you coming from today?
I am in Kentucky.
Now, is that where you're from?
Yep. Yeah. The easiest way is about halfway between Lexington and the West Virginia line.
Okay. Has anyone ever accused you of having a Southern accent?
No, never.
Oh man, as people say that I have it subtly sometimes, and and there's no mistaking with you though.
Yes, I know. That's part of it. I was like, man, do I really want to get on podcast sounding like a extra from the Andy Griffith Show?
No, man, it's great, man. It's, Southern accents are trustworthy. They're comforting, and it's like the world is fascinated with them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
yeah,
so it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's kind of why I enjoyed going up around New Jersey and Boston. It's one of the only places in the country I can tease them about their accent.
Right. So, man, we've been talking a little bit through social media mostly, but you're making big plans for a big adventure coming up. Do you want to share with the audience what you're going to be doing and how the idea came about?
Yeah, I am going to be through hiking the Appalachian Trail starting in March. I don't know how the idea came about. I just slowly, I think, listening to ASP and probably the movie Wild.
Oh man, I just watched that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
finally. That's a great one.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, it was inspiring.
For a long time, I didn't think it was something I could do, and just listening to other people, it just slowly came about. I was like, maybe I can do this.
Wow, why didn't you think you could do it? Just too big of an adventure?
Too big of an adventure. I really don't have any backpacking experience at all. The longest backpacking trip I've been on is an overnight trip. That's all.
So you just do that like for 6 months, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, the longest hike I've been on was 25 miles, I think.
That's a pretty good hike, though.
I did a rim-to-rim hike of the Grand Canyon 2 years ago.
Daggum, yeah, you're going to be
Yep.
good then. And how long did that take?
I did it in 3 days. I hiked down one, spent the night, spent the day down in the canyon, and hiked back out the next day.
That's a good hike right there. I've done that. I didn't spend the night, but it was, I'll kick your butt. But I think if you're capable of doing that, you just take your time, take care of yourself on the trail, and it's just a longer experience of that, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad I spent that day down, scheduled to spend that day down. I don't think I could have hiked back out the next day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not used to the desert, and I got dehydrated. I don't know, probably 1 or 2 o'clock the next day before I started feeling normal again.
No, I get it, man. That desert it'll suck the life right out of you, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. So why the Appalachian Trail? Why'd you decide to do that?
Well, when I decided I wanted to do a thru hike, I started doing my research, and it seemed like the Appalachian Trail had the most support and the biggest community. And if I needed off the trail, it was going to be easier. If I needed help, I would have it easier. I really kind of wanted to do the Continental Divide Trail, and maybe the next time.
I hear a lot of people say that ends up being their favorite, but it's also the last one they do between the three, the Triple Crown, Appalachian Trail, and the Pacific Crest Trail. They save that one for last because it does take the most skill and the most confidence going in, but they say it's just so remote. I just talked to a guy last week that said he went like a week and a half without seeing another person on that trail. So how'd you work this out with work and with finances? How have you been preparing in that way?
Work, I just quit.
That's an easy way to do it.
Finances, let me think. 2014, I started paying off my debt. I became completely debt free in January of 2015.
Oh wow, you a Dave Ramsey fan?
I am a big Dave Ramsey fan.
Oh man, me too. We did the same thing. We followed his steps to pay off some student loans, and it been a fan ever since. Yeah,
and the thing is, in 2014, that January, I looked at the interest I'd paid. 2013, I paid, it was over $3,000 in interest. So the money I've saved in interest just in the last 4 years is paying for this trip.
Wow.
But yeah, I wanted to do this in 2018, but had a bunch of truck repair and quite a bit of time off. And the finances just didn't come through that year, but it works out great. This year, my uncle's going to be able to go with me. So it's going to be a new experience for both of us.
Now, does he have any experience with thru hiking?
A little. Backpacking a little bit. He is retired military.
Okay, so he's got the grit and resilience at the very least.
Yes, and both of us are stubborn and hard-headed. So
good. We'll get along then.
Yeah, that should help a little bit.
So have you been able to train your body or your mind at all and get ready for this? So you said you did the Grand Canyon thing a few years ago. What about recently? How have you been getting ready?
Well, I'm going to have to train now. December and January, I could have moved out of my house and been fine. I have spent almost the entire 2 months in my truck working. So, yeah, that's but I should be okay. I bounce back pretty quick.
Well, I tell you this, I haven't done a ton of thru hiking, but I will do I do a lot of bike touring, and I hardly ever train for a trip. What I do is I use the first week or two to kind of train me. Now, I'll get a little bit prepared. I don't, go overboard with not preparing, but use that first few weeks to train you and to get your body ready. Take it easy, and then before you know it, you'll be knocking out miles and feeling really, really good on the trail. But those first few weeks might be rough.
And it's probably going to get easier as I go along. I should be losing weight pretty quick when I start hiking too.
So what are you most excited about?
Just the experience, meeting people, seeing things I've never seen before. I find I enjoy that more than anything else. Most of my trips out west, that what I really like about them is meeting people that I would never meet otherwise.
And what's so neat, I've spent a few weeks on the Appalachian Trail, and there's a culture around that trail that is unlike anything I've ever seen. Just this whole host of jargon and lingo, and there's nicknames. You're going to get a nickname. The trail kind of gives you one some way, somehow, and you just see the same people each night or as often as you want. And man, just the people that surround the trail with the supporting communities. I haven't done the whole thing, but it just seems like a just wonderful experience with scenery and the people, and just the whole culture is going to be just awesome. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I had a kind of similar experience in Grand Canyon because I didn't realize I was dehydrated. I don't know, dehydrated, overheated, both, until I got down there. And the next day I was talking to a couple that had passed me on the trail. And I was telling them about it, and they looked at me and said, we would have never left you behind if we had known you were dehydrated. So, that was pretty cool.
They were giving you that level of comfort, saying, hey, if you're in trouble, we'll be with you.
Yeah. It seems like when you get out into areas like that, you get a lot of that from my experience.
Yes. You get a lot of support. You've seen it, but you're going to see it on just such a more grand scale with this. People just take care of each other, especially when they're out there doing something like that. No one's out on the Appalachian Trail to make money, to sell anything to you, really. It's all about the experience, and people just seem to, it's one of the most pure things about like our life is doing stuff like that outdoors. People just are in this totally different mindset than they are in everyday life, and they're so caring, so compassionate, and so helpful.
I can already see that just from the little bit of experience I've had. The more I get out into stuff like this, the more I realize that what you see on the news and everything isn't. I don't think that's the majority of people.
So all of you know that I deal with some chronic pain, some chronic inflammation in my knees, and it's been an issue with my adventure sports career. But we just had Caleb Simpson on the show to talk about his company, Hemp Daddies, and I'm actually going to give their products a shot and see how they do. I'm going to be using their CBD oil and transdermal cream. I've been trying it out about a week now, and I've actually noticed I sleep better. My stress and anxiety have even lowered a little bit, as well as my knees do feel a lot better. Their products are third-party lab tested. They're made from USDA organic hemp, and they're grown on a family farm right here in Colorado. If you'd like to give it a shot yourself, go to their website, hempdaddies.com, and use the code ADVENTURE to get 10% off your first order and free shipping. And I will keep you in the loop about how it does for me. So buying ski gear can be a pretty daunting process, especially when it's online, but Powder7 made that process incredibly easy. They live by their mantra, which is skiing for all for skiing, by being completely dedicated just to skiing and encouraging anyone and everyone to participate all year long. It really doesn't matter if you're looking for your first pair of skis or looking to round out your quiver. They have literally thousands of skis in stock, new and used, so you can get a really good deal. A team of ski experts to help you find the perfect ski for you. And they stock every brand you can imagine. And not only skis, but they have everything else you need, whether it's a helmet or goggles, apparel, boots, bindings, poles, literally everything. The only thing they really don't get you is a lift ticket. It's crazy. So you can visit them online at powder7.com or stop by their store there in Golden, Colorado. But make sure you give them a shot before trying anywhere else for your ski equipment.
I have just about stopped watching the news completely because of that. It skews your views so badly.
And when you're out there, you're not going to have a choice. You're not going to be watching the news out on the Appalachian Trail. So you're not only not going to be doing that, you're going to be replacing that time and that energy and those thoughts with the true experience is happening in front of you, man. It's the mindset change that's so powerful about these experiences, and it seems like you already are getting pretty familiar with that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost addicting to get out there and get the head change you get when you get into the outdoors.
Absolutely, it's a good addiction, man. It's needed in our culture for sure.
Yes, it is.
So what are you most nervous about getting out there? Because you're looking forward. We always talk to people after the experience. This is going to be a unique episode because we get to talk to you right before all this life-changing stuff takes place.
I'm nervous about not being prepared enough. I don't know what I don't know. That's two big things right there. Yeah, I feel like I need to take another year to prepare. I don't even have a backpack yet. I'll be going getting that next couple of days. So,
do you know what day you're leaving?
Sometime around the 1st of March. I've got my uncle has a doctor's appointment, and it's right in there. I'm not sure what day.
Where are you starting?
We are starting at the southern end.
Okay. It's going to be an adventure, man. And you know, you say you think you need another year. Man, that's I know a lot of people listening to this show feel that way about whatever they're trying to do, and if there's anything I've learned, it's, you know, you wouldn't be any more prepared in a year, really, because it's not pressing. You'd kind of put it off, and you go back to work and figure things out, and next thing you know, it'd be February next year, and you'd be in the same boat, saying, well, yeah, I watched a couple more hours of YouTube videos, but, you know, I didn't do a whole lot to get ready.
There's only so much research you can do. Really, the best preparation is just to do it. Absolutely, man.
It's what's so beautiful about those thru hikes. It ain't rocket science, man. You got some basic gear. You got some stuff you realize you'd need, and you can pick up down the road, and stuff you realize you don't need, and you just drop it off, ship it home, throw it away, give it away, whatever. Yep. And then you just figure it out little by little each day. You figure out, you know, my feet are hurting or my back's hurting. You just make all these little adjustments constantly. And next thing you know, you're a quarter of the way through. Next thing you know, you're halfway through. And you just, you know, whatever you got to do to keep going.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll figure it out as I go along. As long as I take enough food and enough warm clothes, I'll be okay.
Yeah, and it's going to help to have somebody there with you. You know, who knows what happens down the road, but to start with someone familiar that you trust, it's a big psychological advantage.
Exactly. It'll be that and somebody to push me when I don't feel like going.
Oh yeah. So how you feeling about it? What's the mixture of emotions going into it? Is this still, are you dreading it, or are you like, I'm ready to quit this job?
I'm not dreading it. It's just almost still feels like it won't happen. I think I've got a lot of stuff to do between now and then too. It's probably I'm focusing on that more right now too, because I'll be moving out of my house. I rent right now. There's no use paying rent while I'm gone.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I'll get more excited as March comes closer.
How does your uncle feel about it?
He's excited. We've talked more in the last month than we normally do in a year. So, yeah.
You might not talk at all about halfway through the trip.
Yeah, that's it's going to be interesting because he's ex-military. I'm more type B personality. That could get fun.
We interviewed my best friend Paul probably 3-4 months ago now, and he's like you. He's like your uncle. He's not. He was in the military briefly, but he's that type of person for sure. And I am just like, I go with the wind wherever it takes me, and look at the trees and I just want to do whatever feels good at the time.
Yep.
Type B for sure. And there are days, man, you hate each other. You're just like, I can't stand you. I can't. You just start. It's crazy. You just start thinking of all these scenarios that I don't know. You just hate them for some reason, and then in a weird way, it just grows you closer and closer together. I remember hearing a story about these two guys that were crossing the South Pole together. They were on sleds, or they were cross country skiing, pulling their sleds behind them, and very famous explorer. And he was He was looking at his partner that was ahead of him. They were just looking at nothing but white for months, white, flat landscape. And he said, I would just think every day of ways I could just kill him so I wouldn't have to deal with him anymore.
Oh, wow.
And he's, obviously they're great friends, but he's just like, you get to this emotional, weird place where you're just hate each other for something little, for just a little while during the day. And then you're just like, what the heck? What am I doing? Just because everything's so hard. But
oh yeah,
hopefully y'all don't have to go through anything that extreme.
Well, I don't think we will, but you never know till you do it.
From the idea when you had it, how long did it take you to decide I'm going to do this? And then what was the first big step that you took that said, I can't turn back now, or I'm definitely doing this?
Quitting my job, 4 days ago.
That's all right. So the idea was up in the air until then, huh? Mostly
with my uncle going, it was pretty much, he motivated me more to go on through with it. This is a big step for me. I have not been unemployed since I was, I've been unemployed 1 month since I was 18, and I'm 38 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's incredible, man. That's I'm about the opposite. I've been officially employed probably just a few months of the last 10 years for me.
Right. It's definitely going to be different, and I would like to do something other than drive truck when I get back. I don't know what, but I would like to do something other than sit for 70 hours a week.
Despite all the places that you get to go.
Yep. Yeah. You're tied to the truck, and I've gone through 48 of the 50 states, but I've not got to stop at a lot of them.
And put your feet on the ground.
Yeah, I did one trip from North Dakota to the Panhandle of Texas, and I'd love to redo that in a car. So there's things I just couldn't stop and see.
Yeah, because them trucks, man, they're on a schedule. You got to hit that.
Well, they're on a schedule, and there's only so many places you can park them.
True. They're not inconspicuous by any means. They're big old things.
Well, only 70 feet long. I mean.
Yeah, it's a house. You're dragging a house behind you.
Pretty much.
So, man, do you own your truck? You got to get that sold before you go, or is that the company's?
No, I own the truck. I will be selling it when I get back.
You got somewhere to leave it then for the time being.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough. My mom has enough space for me to park it at her house.
Man, this is exciting. So what are the people around you saying about your decision and about your idea?
There's two groups of them. One group says I'm crazy, and the other group is excited for me.
That's a good balance. Because if everybody thought you were crazy, I would think about what you're doing. If everyone thought it was a great idea, you ain't pushing it hard enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's good. So who's on the crazy side and who's on the good idea side?
Oh God, a lot of my family thinks I'm crazy. My friends are split. My friends that think I'm crazy. Right now, the trucking industry is booming. I've never seen trucks moving like they've moved in 2018.
So does that cause you hesitation?
Well, yeah, I'm going to be missing out on a lot of money.
Ability to make money is always going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
But this life is, you got to set time for you to have these experiences because, man, the amount of people you're going to be coming across, the opportunities, what they do, what they've done with their life, what kind of, you're going to think of things to do when you get back that you just didn't even know existed before. Didn't even know there were possibilities.
Oh, definitely. And if I'm really lucky, I'll meet up with somebody from Leave No Trace or some other outdoor company and go drive truck for them.
There you go. Keep driving, just change what you carry.
Instead of going factory to factory, go turn expo to expo.
I was at a trade show last week, and there were campers and all kinds of rigs inside this building. And I thought, well, somebody had to drive this here. You got to set time aside for this, and if you're at a place in life that is allowing this, you'll never regret it, man. I wouldn't trade what I've done I wouldn't trade it for millions of dollars. I really wouldn't.
Oh no.
I mean, beforehand maybe because I didn't know. But now after going through it, it's priceless. I'm the most proud of those things of anything I've probably done or achieved or anything. It's life-changing in every sense of the word.
Well, that's why I chose to go ahead and quit instead of keeping at it another year or two, or in 2 or 3 years, I may not be able to do this. You never know what's going to happen in a year or two. Something may happen where I'm not able to do the hike.
You might, I mean, God forbid, but there's something health-wise that could just change, something life-wise, circumstance that just happens, and you won't be able to do this. You know right now that you can. You know right now that this is a good window of opportunity to give it a shot, and the fact that you're going for it, you got to take this chance and say, tomorrow something might happen where I can never do this ever again, but
yep,
I know right now I can.
Well, that's I'm already having a little problem with my knees where I was stupid in my 20s.
What'd you do?
Hiking too fast downhill.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. That was part of what did it for me, too, yep.
Yeah, that was part of it. It's there's been a few other things, but I limped for a while after that particular hike.
So what kind of stuff are you taking? What's on your gear list? Do you have any of that figured out, or is it kind of up in the air still?
Tent, I've got a Nemo Hornet Elite, I think. I do not have a sleeping bag yet, but I've been looking at a Nemo sleeping bag. I'm hesitating a little. The one I'm looking at is about a $300 sleeping bag, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money.
No, I get it, man. So, something I always use is a website called Steep and Cheap. I don't know if you heard of that.
I have not.
It's an auction-based outdoor online thing, and they, like, every 10, 20 minutes, they update a new item, and it'll be like 50, 60, 70% off. And I got 2 of my sleeping bags on there for 75% off.
Okay.
And they're just like old models. They're brand new gear. It's not been used or nothing, but maybe a place overstocked and they try to sell it on here, and it changes all day long, and you can get updates, and I waited till they had a sleeping bag and went for it. But man, you can check all kinds of places, get a good deal. Good night's sleep is going to be crucial on this trip, in my opinion. Right. What kind of backpack you looking into?
I'm not sure about a backpack yet. I'm going to go to REI and get fitted, but I've not done enough research on that to know what brand to look at. Any suggestions?
So yeah, like I said at the beginning of the episode, I used to carry cans of food into the backcountry, and I know there's a lot lighter things to do, but there's just a lot of options that aren't good for you or are either too heavy, and that's why I really do use Peak Refuel now. They're a new backpacking food company, and I say backpacking food, really it's just freeze-dried food that you can use for anything. I've actually eaten it for dinner before with my family because it's real food. It does not taste like backpacking food or hunting food or something that you're only going to eat in the backcountry. It's delicious, high in protein, nutritious. It is going to refuel you. It is filling, huge portions, and I really encourage you all to give it a shot. At least try it out, and that is peakrefuel.com. And if you want to get 20% off an order, use the code ASP20. And that's capital ASP and then 20. Now, back to the episode. I mean, there's just a million different backpacks, and people are going to, give their opinion and what they've used, but there's nobody out there but a few who've used it all and tested it all. And I'll tell you what, I'm not a gear junkie. I'm kind of like, just give me what I need so I can get out there and have the experience. I don't want to think about, some bogus technology that's in. I just want to do the trip with some gear.
Right.
Like, give me some. And so,
yes.
And I would say go light, to try to stay light, but be prepared. I'll tell you what I personally use is I use a 15-year-old Kelty external backpack that I got at a yard sale for $8. Still use it to this day. And even though I run a backpacking gear company with my friend, it's we still use these. Nothing fancy at all. But go to REI, check them out. Sometimes they run deals. look for discount websites. And the important thing is make sure it fits good on you. It's the right length, the right, not terribly heavy, but big enough to hold all your stuff. Man, you don't have to. This is my opinion. You don't have to go with the most expensive stuff to have a great time. My first bike trip, I didn't get the bike till 2 weeks before we left, so I know exactly how you feel. Try it out. If it's comfortable, put some weight in it. See if that's comfortable, and it's on you all day long. Anywhere you go, that thing goes with you. And so
for 2,200 miles,
22 plus some, I'm sure, in case you make a wrong turn or turn around or hike off trail to a town or something. There's at least 2,200. So, and don't get light colored because it's going to get filthy unless you want to show how dirty it got.
Oh yeah, I don't have any light colored clothing, so yeah.
Good. So how's your uncle? Is he prepared? Is he getting his gear dialed in?
I think I don't know what he's got bought, but I think he's got most of his gear. I think he's been wearing it around on short walks. It would be nice if I had the time to maybe at least do 10 miles with my backpack, but we'll see.
Well, I know preparedness is a big part of it, but I can't speak from experience, man. I always just kind of went for it without a whole lot of preparedness. As trips got more complicated, I'd have to prepare more, but those first few, you get on a trail, get on the road, and just go, and figure it out as you go. It was miserable some nights. And my first night, I didn't have a sleeping pad for my first 3-month trip. For 3 months, I slept straight on the ground like a doofus. I just didn't know any better. Sleeping pad's important. Make sure it's comfortable, lightweight. I actually recommend Climate, Klymit. They're cheap, they're lightweight, very resilient, and really good company.
Okay, I'll look into them. Just a general gear list. I think there may be too much information out there now because it has. There's so many people that say you need this and this and this and this, and there's so many different gear lists. It's hard to pick or choose which one to go with.
I get that. And I tell you what, man, this might be bad advice, but there's a lot of people out that are internet hikers. I mean, and they have a perfectly dialed in gear list. They got it all figured out. They love talking about the gear. They really get jazzed about that, but they don't ever put it to use towards something like this. Maybe they'll do a few little trips, but it's nothing like what you're doing. And there's a lot of people that have that balance really nicely. But man, I've been on the AT. I've met so many people. The ultralight backpackers to folks that were using their dad's gear from 30 years ago, and they were all doing it just the same. I met one guy carrying a quilt blanket the size of a dadgum bedroom to keep warm, and he just had it rolled up on top of his pack. It was like 3 feet above his head, and he had done the whole trail just as quickly as some of the other guys, little guy. And I just thought it really comes down to mindset once you get the basic items you need. I mean, when we went our first trip, we had so much junk that we ended up having to get rid of just because of the weight. And you're around so many people on the AT. If there's something you don't have that you need that day and you don't have a chance of getting to town, I guarantee you're going to pass someone that's willing to let you use their multi-tool or some duct tape or something or something. Bring some zip ties, bring some duct tape, and heck, there's probably nothing you can't fix with those two things out on that trail.
I hadn't considered zip ties, but there will be duct tape. Okay,
maybe zip ties ain't. We had bikes, so we were zip tying things all the time, but you might not need that as much. Tape probably will hold just about anything together that you'll have on your back.
1 or 2 zip ties won't hurt either.
They're fun to chew on too.
I've not tried that.
I'm just kidding. Well, man, I'm excited for you. I'm really hoping that you'll have a life-changing, positive experience and get to meet just thousands of interesting folk.
I should. I looked on YouTube last week, and I think there's already 8 or 9 people posting YouTube videos of their 2019 hike.
They're already on the trail?
Some of them are already on the trail. Some of them were doing gear lists. There was one guy started the AT, I think a month ago. He started it early, and yeah, I bet he was miserable this last week if he didn't come off the trail.
Yeah, oh my goodness, he might have had to take a break unless he was outfitted for Arctic conditions.
I don't know if you paid attention to the weather on the East Coast or not, but we got down to 0 and some negative temperatures last week.
I have a good friend in Chicago, just south of Chicago, and I couldn't even fathom the numbers he was talking about.
Oh, God. It got just a little chilly up there.
Man, that is nuts. Nuts. So when do most people start it, and how long do you plan to be out there? I don't think I asked that.
I've heard most people start sometime in March, and you have to be off the trail mid to late September. Guess it gets a little rough up there, but we should. I think most people do it in 5 to 6 months, so we should have plenty of time.
That is a long time, man.
Yes, it is.
You're gonna be a different person.
I hope, and I hope for the better.
Well, man, we wish you luck. This will probably come out probably close to when you're starting. And how can people, are you going to be updating anything? Can people keep in touch with you, encourage you, follow along?
I'm not really on. I have a Facebook account, but that's it.
You think you'll be posting there at all, or very infrequently due to service?
I'm not sure. That's probably how I'm going to keep most of my friends and family updated, but I don't know how often I'll be able to post. Being on the East Coast, I should have service most of the time, but we'll see.
What an adventure. This is what life's about, man. And I encourage you, chase it, do what you can to make it happen, to stay out there. I really encourage you not to quit unless there's just something dire. But if you just are not having a great time, or I don't know, it's just not going what you thought, I encourage you to keep going, because I've had so many friends, people I know at least, some friends that quit when they were so close to just something so awesome that I feel like if they could have broken through those emotions, they could have really had an experience of a lifetime.
I am hard-headed enough that unless I probably won't quit unless it's for health reasons or something, that I have to come off the trail.
Yep, that's good. Because it's, I tell you one thing, it ain't going to be easy. But in a way, it's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. But in a way, it's going to be way easier than sitting in that truck for 70 hours a week.
It will not be as stressful. That will definitely be for sure. And I don't know, the stress in a truck, it just kind of sneaks up on you. Dealing with traffic, you would be amazed the number of people that will cut off a semi. Which does not seem intelligent to me.
Yeah.
200 or 300 yards at interstate speeds. I'm definitely happier when I can get out and just be on the road by myself, or light traffic.
I am just unbelievably excited for you. I know our community's excited for you, and they'll be rooting you on, and they'll want to hear how it's going. So if at any point you can message me when you're out there and say, it's going well, here's where we are, I'd love to update the listeners on how it's going for you.
When I get a chance, I will, just to make it easier, I will go ahead and post stuff to ASP's Facebook page.
Perfect. And then we can share it from there.
Yep.
Jeremiah, thank you so much for joining us, man. I'm excited. I hope you can achieve this so you can move on to even bigger adventures and hopefully get that Continental Divide Trail.
I appreciate you having me on, and hopefully next year, year after, I'll be interviewing for a Continental Divide trip.
There you go. Well, you finish this AT, we want to have you on too. Talk about, because we're going to compare and contrast the before and after, see how different you are.
That will be fun.
Well, listen to it. We'll try to inspire you, give you a shout out every once in a while, and listen to the show, and feel free to post on the page, because we'd love to hear from you.
All right, will do.
All right, well, have a good one. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Talk later.
Bye.
First of all, thank you so much for listening to the episode. Secondly, if you would like to get in touch, you can leave us a voicemail at 812-MAIL-POD. You can also send us an email, info@adventuresportspodcast.com. Get a hold of us on Facebook, Instagram. Contact us on the website. There's just 1,000 ways to do it. If you know somebody that would make a good guest for the show, whether it's you or somebody you know with a really cool story or background or does an interesting sport, get in touch. We'd love to have them on. Also, if you'd like to be a patron, aka a supporter of the show, patreon.com/Adventure Sports Podcast. You can sign up for as little as $1 a month. You can sign up for $5 a month. And lastly, thank you to our sponsors whose messages follow right now. If you want to save 20% off the best backpacking food on planet Earth, go to peakrefuel.com and at checkout, use the code ASP20. Powder7 is setting the bar for ski retailers everywhere with their personalized service, wide selection of skis and gear. Visit them online at powder7.com or stop by their store in Golden, Colorado. Also, don't forget, if you're dealing with inflammation, pain, stress, anxiety, lack of sleep, check out hempdaddies.com for CBD oil and transdermal cream and use the code ADVENTURE at checkout to save 10%.